Oh, there we go. We are live, episode number 79 of the Section 247 podcast, a Sports Talk Philly podcast, a Sports Talk Philly network presented by Michael's Glass Company. I am the Doc. I am joined as always by Michael Watkins. Michael, what is going on, sir? How are you?
Good evening, sir. And how are you going into now week 4 of
Week
our
4.
quarantine?
I got yelled at, asked when I was going to shave, so that tells you how that's going.
You could just take the hair on your beard and put it on top of your head.
Yeah, we could do that. Other than that, doing okay. I can't complain too much. It is, however, sir, National Beer Day. You informed me of this. This is excellent.
It is National Beer Day. And I thought, we drink a lot on this podcast. We're going to get a little more deeper about me drinking recently, but good evening, Will. But little cheers to you. I have my Cape May beer.
What do you got there?
What do you got tonight?
You got Coastal Evacuation.
My favorite one.
I got a little Cape May. Hold on there. Cape May.
And Devil's Reach there. So there you go. We got our Cape May beer going. No free ads, but we love the beer.
Perfect. It's
one day.
It's fantastic. We like it. So we're gonna crack that. Hold on. Right there. We're gonna add it into the original Funk Masters of Wrestling koozie there.
And I have a Cape May koozie, so I'll just put it into that little bugger. So, National Beer Day. My beer fridge used to be packed before this whole quarantine thing started, which brings me to my problem is that I lost all that weight, man. I lost 18 pounds, and I've gained back 5 of it since this whole thing started 4 weeks ago. So,
really,
this little baby right here, minus the other ones I'm probably going to drink when we're doing this show. And then that's it, man. I'm going back to my, maybe drinking once on the weekend. And I got to go back to the no sugar. I mean, my wife, she just jumped on. So how you doing?
How you doing there?
Baking cookies,
how you doing there,
cheesecake.
What? She's a thief. She's a straw thief.
Yeah, man, I got to get back to it. I mean, actually, I'm the one who steals the straws. She's the one who uses them.
Oh, okay.
And we could talk about that. But man, I got to get back on it. This whole quarantine thing. I stopped watching the news. Stopped watching it, and I feel a lot better. It's growing back. It's growing. You have a hairline now again.
We'll ask for a picture, so we'll show off. All right, so go back. Sorry, quarantine. Go ahead.
So quarantine, I have to get back into my shape. I was feeling really good. My body wasn't hurting every morning, but it's because I'm drinking. I'm eating cookies and crap like that. And my wife, God bless her soul, like she's bakes great, but I just can't do it anymore, And no, you're not the thief. I'm the straw thief. I mean, you steal a couple thousand napkins, but they put them in the bags for you, so whatever. But yeah, I steal the straws. I'm the straw thief, jumping around there. But yeah, how are you doing? Like, are you eating a ton? Like, I'm eating and drinking a ton at night. It's not during the day. During the day, I'm busy as hell.
Well, I'm drinking more beer than I normally do. I've completed my intake of beer for the next 6 years. But other than that, it is what I don't eat during the day, so I'm working.
Yeah.
I'm essential.
And I have no time during the day. Yeah, I'm working. I'm more busy now than I was before this whole thing started, which is good. And then as soon as I'm done, it's so nice out now that we go for a walk. My son is walking everywhere now, so he wants to walk. So we go for a walk, and then we come back, we eat dinner, and then it's bath time, bedtime, bed, done.
Sounds like,
and I'm drinking, watching TV in bed.
That sounds like my day.
Yeah. So, oh well, get back to it. This is it. This is the last hurrah during the week. Back to drinking water during the shows, which I was doing for a while.
Bullshit. I don't believe that for once.
Dude, there was a stretch there. There was 5 or 6 shows that I did not drink. I had water with me. So, I mean, let's see who's checking in so far. We see Phil. Phil's checking in. We have Lizzie's on. We have Nicole, we already said. Yeah, cookies rule. Yeah, thank you very much, as I ate almost 2 dozen of them. Will's on. We saw Zach. Dude, I've been smoking drumsticks and then doing them in buffalo and barbecue sauce and like 2 dozen at a time. And a day and a half later, they're all gone.
Say that again.
So I'll get drumsticks when I go to the supermarket the once a week that I go. I'm loading up on drumsticks and I'm buying like 2 because you're allowed 3 chicken products at the ShopRite I go to. Mm-hmm. So I buy 2 orders of drumsticks and I buy chicken breasts for whatever we're going to have. And then I put the drumsticks, I deskin them, I wash them and I marinate them and I put them in the smoker. And then I either do a little buffalo sauce, a little barbecue sauce. And a day and a half later, 24 drumsticks, not like small drumsticks, but good sized drumsticks, they're gone. I'm turning into a fat bastard again. Man, it sucks. I was feeling good. I put on shorts a couple weeks ago that didn't fit me in 3 years.
And now you
probably don't fit me tonight.
Do it. Gotcha.
Going back to it.
Did I mention we were sponsored by Michael's Glass Company? I don't remember if we did. If I did or did. Michael's Glass Company
for beer day.
For all your glass company needs, 215-338-3293. They are still essential, so give them a call if you need them. No sneeze guards though, because it's not happening anymore. Why don't you tell people? I share this thing. Why don't you tell people how they can find us?
So tonight, as you can see, the comments are coming in, in order to participate with the show, you can only see, which we can only see the comments if you're in the Section 247 show feed. So you can find them either tonight on Periscope or YouTube or Facebook.
Periscope, Twitter, correct? Yeah.
Periscope, Twitter. So if you go in, we like the fact that you're liking it and sharing it, and please keep doing that. But keep in mind that if you're on a shared feed and you say a comment, we can't see it and we want to see it. So jump into our show feed and tell us how you're doing. Tell them how much you're eating and drinking if you're just a glutton like I've been over the past couple weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's give you a little bit of a
Garfield. Yeah, damn right. Call me Garfield.
Like the cat, Garfield, the cat.
Do you get that joke? Yeah. So the Garfield, he's orange and he loves lasagna or something like that. I'm sure she'll write it in a second.
Oh, so it's
yeah. Erin made lasagna. So that's my wife said, call me Garfield.
There's a lot going on here that I don't know about. So let's give you a little bit of a rundown here for the show. Okay. We are going to discuss National Beer Day. We're going to get back to that in a second. Michael and I are drinking and why we can't stop drinking. Let me pull out my notes here because, I need notes. I'm old. The White House. I'm doing too. The White House had a nice call with sports leaders this weekend, excuse me. We're going to discuss that, Michael. The return of sports is looming. We had a little bit of a Twitter poll, a little Twitter thing, a little Facebook. Who would you play horse with? Anybody living or dead? We got a lot of great responses there. Basketball players, obviously. Check in on the Eagles draft. Is Cam Newton or Joe Flacco going to end up in Philadelphia? It's a question we have to ask. And finally, what was your take on the historic WrestleMania?
I'm glad we're going to talk about that.
Oh, and social media.
Text about it, you and I, over the weekend.
And social media. We're going to lead off.
Yeah, and social media. Rock bottom.
We're going to lead off on it. Social media. Is social media too much? You brought this up. I'm going to go with you on it while I mute my mic so I can sneeze.
No problem. So social media, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure everybody is on it right now. It has officially hit rock bottom. I mean, let's face it. There's nothing going on. You turn on the news, it's all sad. There's no sports. You're staying inside. And we're subjected now to pick 3. And it's a box with the 9 squares. And you have to pick the 3 and they group them together. And like an idiot, it sucks me in every time. And I'm not usually one that gets sucked into that. But I've been sucked in. Our friend of the show, OTSN, Kyle Gagliardi, he posts a lot of them. And I literally today said, this is what we've come to. Oh, and by the way, I'll take 3, 6, and 9. And I don't know if anybody has seen them, but they're just, they actually make you think. And that's really sad, the fact that they actually make me think.
Kiss my ass, Carl. I've seen these things and I love them. I saw one today on a group, the tailgating group, where they asked a serious question. They set it up. It was like potato. It was French fries. It was a French fry thing, potato thing. Crinkle cut versus regular fry. waffle fry versus tater tot was one of the things. And I've been going back and forth on this for hours trying to figure out what my choice was going to be, because tater tot and a waffle fry is very good. I love these things. They're great. They're awesome.
So this is the one, I'm going to hold this up, and I know it's going to be hard to see. It's not going to focus in, but this is the one that really had me going. And it's Taco Bell, Popeyes, Chick-fil-A, Burger King, Subway, McDonald's, Arby's, Wendy's, Panda Express. Now pick 3. Okay, now Panda Express, you're out. Arby's, you're out. Subway, you're out. Taco Bell, you're out. But the rest of them, the Popeyes, Chick-fil-A, Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, I can't pick 3. I literally sat for a good 15 minutes thinking about the 3 that I would pick. And then my fat self wants to go eat it afterwards. So I go to my wife, hey, you want Popeyes tonight?
Arby's is okay.
Arby's is okay. I mean, it's pretty much a colonoscopy to go. So go figure that one. Subway's boring. I don't know how Subway made this list. But some of these are just like the Philly one. Did you see the Philly one?
I did see the Philly one. I can actually bring it up.
I mean, what do you pick? What do you pick from there? And just like for anybody that's playing at home right now,
all right,
cheesesteak.
You have it?
Yeah, I have it. It's right here. Cheesesteak, Sundae cup, butterscotch crimpet, crab fries from Chickies and Pete's, soft pretzel, tomato pie, scrapple, a really good looking pizza, and then Italian ice.
Italian ice, it's water ice, you jackass.
Well, whatever. Water ice. I mean, it's a Philly thing, so wouldn't it be Italian ice?
No, it's water ice.
All right. Well, anyway, what would you pick out of that one?
I'm picking 3 of them.
Yeah. You want me to tell you mine?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cheesesteak, the crab fries, and then it's a toss-up, man, between the tomato pie and the pizza.
Yeah, man, this is tough. So I'm going cheesesteak. I like a pretzel. Yeah. I do like a pretzel. I'm looking at it. I mean, a
pretzel after a while, it's nothing but salt and baking soda dough.
No, like 64 pretzels and a big thing of coffee for breakfast. It's fantastic.
See, my wife agrees it's Italian ice. That's one thing that we actually agree on today. So there you go.
It's water ice.
No soup for you. No. Cheesesteak, pretzel, soft ice cream, which is Will's checking in. So the Sundae cup, which I want, you gotta have a little bit of dessert to wash it down. I agree there, Will.
I'm gonna go cheesesteak. I'm gonna go cheesesteak, crab fry, and that looks like a Santucci's pizza. If that's
is it a Santucci's or my wife and I were debating this? What was it? We can't really tell. It might be Santucci's. We thought it might have been Angelo's because it has the basil leaves on it.
The number
look at my phone right now.
The number 6, I think, is a Santucci's tomato pie.
Yeah, or it's Akasha's or something. But yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. Pretzel's amateur night.
So you don't like those? Look, a good pretzel, you go get.
I love those. I mean, but look what I've come to. I'm literally sitting. And then I have to be like, what number was the cheesesteak again?
And you were debating going back onto Facebook.
Yeah, I haven't done it. But look, I mean, I might as well.
Oh, Will is so wrong here. Will is so wrong here.
Crab fries are nothing but fries. Old Bay, horrible. Oh, get out of here, Will.
You have to go to the Chickies and Pete's on Robbins Avenue and get the legit real thing.
So, all right. So
Dave Washik chimes in. Oh, cheesesteak, pretzel, and the crimpet. It's hard to keep the crimpet out. I agree.
And I agree with you. Because you gotta have something sweet in there, and I think the crimpet is perfect.
The crimpet is better than the water ice or the
the water ice, whatever. I mean, water ice that's a palate cleanser for me for the other 2 things, if anything.
The scrapple, I'm out. I'm not a scrapple guy.
Yeah, that was an easy one there. The scrapple was an easy one, and what else was it? Was an easy one for me to get out of there. The water ice was an easy one.
So yeah, I have a bunch of these. I've seen a bunch of these go around. So
let's do one more because we got people talking and I'm getting hungry. So let's try something else here.
The best pretzels are the street pretzels that use street urine to keep the salt and the flavor lasting. I agree with you, Will. There was a great one when you used to come over the Tacony Palmyra Bridge. That guy was great. He's gone now.
Yeah.
We lived 15 minutes from Robbins Avenue for 5 years and never went. That's your fault. You don't like gyros either, so I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, all right. So segue into sports. So let's do the sports movies.
No, keep going. I like this. This is
So
good.
you want to do the food? All right. So let's do the sports movies here. And I only have one other one. You know what I couldn't find is the Philadelphia athlete one. I was trying to find it so we can do that one because that one was pretty good, but I couldn't find it because I saw it on Sunday. So sports movies: Friday Night Lights, Rudy, Coach Carter, Remember the Titans, Blindside, Space Jam, Rocky, Glory Road, and Miracle.
3.
Yeah. Let me tell you mine.
Go ahead.
Rocky, Miracle, Remember the Titans.
So I am going to go Rocky, Rocky, Miracle, Remember the Titans. Because Friday Night Lights, the movie, is not as good as Friday Night, the TV show.
With the TV show?
Yes.
No. First of all, the book was better than was the best at all.
The TV show is closer to the book, which is why I like the TV show.
Yeah. Titans, Miracle, Rocky. Thank you, Dan.
Titans,
There's no crying in Is Rocky truly a sports movie? Yeah, it's an underdog story. It's an underdog story. It has boxing in it. Boxing's a sport.
Those chimes in. Remember Rocky?
Space Jam.
Well,
Space Jam.
Certain people of a certain age.
I mean, what was that? Was 90?
What about the one 96? In South Philly where it becomes the kicker? That would be the the garbage kicking.
Tony Danza garbage man.
Field goal kicking Philadelphia phenomenon.
That would go on my list. Yeah. Tony Danza. Hey.
Phil chimes in.
Sound like an Indian there.
Phil chimes in. There's no crying in baseball. Was that on the list?
Yeah, League Alone was not on the list.
Okay.
Was not on the list. I almost went with Rudy instead of Remember the Titans. I was like, how are you going to go against Remember the Titans?
Now, Rudy is definitely a way overrated movie. He was offsides.
Space Jam was 97. Thanks, Zach.
He was offsides.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame sucks. So there you go. I know it's gonna offend you. Sorry. Yes. Sorry.
It's not going to offend me.
All right. So did you have another food one there?
I do. Do I have another food one? I don't have another food one. All right. So I have another movie one. It's a comedy one. This is actually pretty good. This one again.
All right. Hold on. Phil chimes in here. He has never seen Rudy. Phil, are you messing with us here?
I mean, if you haven't seen it, Phil, you're not. I mean, it's not like the end of the world.
It's a good movie, though.
It's a good movie. It's entertaining. It makes you tear. It's a tearjerker.
Yeah.
Who's the wild man?
And I was going to say, yeah, exactly. You got to love
it. And Vince Vaughn, a young, skinny, tall Vince Vaughn calling, Rudy a sellout is great too.
Ooh, I like this. I like Dan's chiming in here, and he could be very, very well. He could be correct here. Possibly the greatest locker room speech is by Pacino in Any Given Sunday. I would agree with that from a sports movie standpoint. I would agree.
I watched it the other night.
If you put that speech up against Herb Brooks, what do you got?
Oh, Herb Brooks is definitely better. Well, I mean, no doubt Herb Brooks. But, I mean, the Any Given Sunday one is good.
Because Herb Brooks is real?
Is it really real? Do we know for a fact he said all those words? Did anybody ever come out and say that? Blue Chips.
Blue Chips Blue Chips was a big movie for us when we were growing up, and it was
94, 95.
It didn't age very well.
No, didn't age very well at all. All
right, so you have
another because the sneaker is gazelles in it.
You have another one. What is it?
Yeah, I have a movie one. It's a comedy one.
I'd put The Program in there, but that's just me.
Yeah, I like The Program.
Razor Bear Claw.
So,
sorry, that's the Blitz.
Right. No, I'm trying. I hear you, but I'm trying to read the thing, and I just went like, all right. So, American Pie, Superbad, Step Brothers, Hangover, 40-Year-Old Virgin, The Other Guys, Role Models, Wedding Crashers, 21 Jump Street, the new one with Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum. So this is almost like an SAT. These things, you can sort of get rid of 33% of them right off the bat. So role models, other guys, 21 Jump Street.
Gone.
Yeah. Like, get out of here.
Give me what else you have there.
So American Pie.
That's definite.
Which that for me, that's the same year I graduated high school.
That's a definite.
Superbad.
Yeah. Funny.
You're putting American Pie in there from the jump.
Yeah, absolutely. Kiss my ass, Carl.
Superbad. Step Brothers, Hangover, 40-Year-Old Virgin, and Wedding Crashers.
Wedding Crashers is out.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like Wedding Crashers.
Oh man, how could
American Pie?
Phil, 21 Jump Street, Hangover. Phil, can I ask you how old you are? If you don't mind. Go ahead. All right, so you said Wedding Crashers is out.
Wedding Crashers.
American Pie is in. Give me two more.
Hangover.
Okay.
Give me, what are my other choices again?
Superbad, Step Brothers, 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Ooh, I liked 40-Year-Old Virgin. 40-Year-Old Virgin was funny to me. I go 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Okay. I would love to know what my wife thinks of this one because this is like right in her wheelhouse right here. I mean, it's so hard for me to go against.
Phil's 24.
Okay. All right, so that explains the 21 Jump Street. Hangover, definitely.
Hangover's a classic.
Hangover is definitely. It was actually at that time was ahead of its time as far a comedy movie goes. I have such a hard time going against American Pie.
You can't know American Pie. For us, we can all. We can relate to that.
Yeah.
There's literally things that
I was class of 99.
There's things that occur in that movie.
So yeah, I'm freaking old.
Yeah.
All right, so this one. Oh man, I saw Superbad in the theater like 5 times, hammered off my ass when it came out.
Superbad was funny.
Step Brothers, it took me a couple times before I thought it was funny because it's Will Ferrell. I'm not always a Will Ferrell guy.
I'd agree with you there.
You were 40 versions. You might have
those kids, they were all miracles.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Hangover, American Pie, and I'll go Super.
Did we lose you there?
Did we? Am I back?
Oh no, there you go. Yeah, your last one. Your last choice.
Yeah, was Superbad.
Okay,
I'll go Superbad. No, Zach was class of 06 and American Pie still belongs. Yeah, I mean, it was a really funny movie. Hangover was probably my top choice out of all those, though.
It's Talladega Nights.
I love
I'm just not I'm not that.
That wasn't one of the choices.
Yeah, you're breaking the rules. Number one.
You know why she was yelling Ricky Bobby while Nico was in the tub tonight. You're going, Ricky.
Okay.
You're not first, you're last. That's what she was doing when he was in the tub tonight.
I'm not a fan of those movies. But that's just me.
I think she would pick 40-Year-Old Virgin personally because she was watching that with me. We were watching that a couple weeks ago.
Let's stick with some fun stuff here before we really get into the sports. It's sports related, but I want to know because the people are out there, they're engaging us. The NBA is considering doing this whole horse. They're playing horse, to put product on television. So they wanted to do, who would you play in horse? They were asking that question. So I asked you, I'm going to ask you, I asked the people, who would you play in horse? Anybody, living or dead, basketball players only. Who would you play?
Michael Jordan.
Really?
Without question. Yeah. I mean, why not play against the greatest basketball player there is?
Well, I would tell you that old school should be on there.
Old school is not good.
Old school's funny.
Old school's not. I mean, old school's good. It's entertaining. It's not funny.
What do you mean?
It's not funny. It's not like Wedding Crashers was funny. Hangover was funny. Like Hangover, it made you friggin' laugh your ass off. I mean, there's a tiger in the bathroom, and he's walking around with a satchel with Skittles in it.
That's true. Hangover
turned into $50,000. I mean, that's funny. Old school was just like, it's entertainment. It's a bunch of old guys starting a fraternity. That would never happen at all.
So you go. Definitely not now. Everything's distance learning. Everything's shut down. Coronavirus.
Right.
So you go. You go. I go. Charles Barkley. You go.
No, that's because that's your buddy. That's your.
That's
boy.
my buddy. That's my boy. I go Charles Barkley because I'd have to imagine that it would be fun to shoot hoops with him and drink beers and liquor at the same time.
So,
what are you going to gamble with MJ?
Michael Jordan drinks. He drinks. He's got his own friggin' red wine vineyard. He'll bring the wine.
That's a wine guy. Got you.
Yeah. So we'll hydrate. We'll hydrate together. Let me ask you this. Never mind the horse. Your buddy, Charles Barkley, you drank with him the night before your wedding.
Mm-hmm.
If he said to you, Michael, I'm an ordained minister, kick out whoever you are, who's marrying you tomorrow, I want to do it, would you do it?
Now I would, yeah, because whatever happens. At that time, probably not. I would have not been married, but who knows?
You go, honey, I got
bought and paid
next
for.
Morning.
The minister was bought and paid for at that point. So there's all.
Never mind that minister. We have NBA Hall of Famer.
I know
the round mound, the rebound. Charles Barkley is going to marry us.
You'd have to. So Zach has no comment. We're going to get to Zach's comment from Facebook. Dan chimes in with Shaq. Shaq got a lot of love on the Facebook. Eric Moore chimed in on Facebook and said Shaq. He simply because it's, what are you going to shoot free throws the whole time? He can't hit them.
I think Michael Jordan is just great because I don't know if anybody has ever seen the video of Michael Jordan playing 101 with that young Bulls player back in the day. And he just talks shit the whole time. He beat him like 11-3 or something like that. Dan's playing with Kevin Hart.
Yeah, but he's not a basketball player. That doesn't count. We can do celebrities after that. So hold that thought. I like that.
You want to do a celebrity one too?
We can just real quick right here while we're talking. Sure, why not? I mean, we can do that. We can do whatever we want. So you're Jordan. I'm Charles Barkley. Yusuf Ruffin chimes in on the Facebook. Shaq, but no dunking allowed. He needs a win. Joey Embry on Facebook. To win, Sean Bradley. The dude was 7'6" and shot over 50% once in 14 years. For fun, Kobe Bryant, which I got that. One of my favorite ones here. There's two of them. Mike Mackinson on the Facebook. He said he's out. He was the kid in the neighborhood who would miss 9 out of 10 foul shots. So he wasn't doing it. I once won a Knights of Columbus free throw contest, hitting 1 out of 20.
I did too.
Yeah.
I think I was the only one in my age group, though. I think that's why I won.
One of my favorite ones here is Jim McWilliams on Facebook. He chimes in with one and only Ben Simmons. He said, "Horse is nothing but 3-pointers."
Oh, I would, what? If I would want to actually play Ben Simmons in Horse because I would shoot his 3-pointers to make him do it.
Zach chimed in on the Facebook. He said, Tim Legler. There is a story behind Tim Legler that we're going to get to in a later show at some point here, where Zach had to threaten some certain celebrity. So we're going to have that in another show where you can, your celebrity run-ins. Dexter Scott checked in on the book. I actually sent this to me. I apologize. He said, Dennis Rodman. And that's awesome. He's like, because you can drink, you're going to drink with him and all the stories that he can tell you. I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
From a celebrity standpoint, who would you play with?
My buddy Nick Lachey. Who else?
Oh God, yeah, I should have realized that. Yeah, I play with the Miz.
Who else am I going to play with? My buddy Nick Lachey.
How am Miz and I are going to hang out. Miz and I are going to hang out.
Yeah, you gonna be like doppelganger partners?
Yes, exactly. But I have a beard now. He doesn't.
No.
All right.
He's got a big bank account too.
He does, much bigger than mine, especially right now. Yeah. Anyway, let's move along. We're not talking about that kind of stuff right now. Even though it is.
Everyone wants to play with Chelsea Handler.
Chelsea Handler's an interesting one.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Dan says Covington, he blows. Fair enough. Here comes the Sixers hate. It's awesome. All right. Michael, it seems as though the return of professional sports is looming and looming large. There was a call with the White House and the President of the United States, who, we don't mention by name, but there was a call on Saturday with the leaders of all the major sports: baseball, football, basketball, hockey, UFC, Dana White, Vince McMahon, I believe golf was on there. You name it, they have it. The president wants the country to return to normalcy. We can debate whether that's right or wrong at another time, but it looks like sports are coming back. Some notes here, a couple of things of note. The NBA is looking at playing empty arena quarantine games, I guess is the best way to put it. They're looking at Vegas, Atlantic City as places to play. The NHL I saw is looking at North Dakota to bring players in and finish their season.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, North Dakota, Saskatchewan, and New Hampshire.
Nobody there. Major League Baseball is looking at, and it's looking likely that they're going to start the season with no fans in Arizona in 10 minor league ballparks and Chase Field. What's your take on this here?
So getting back to that, just going back to the celebrities, since the comments coming a little late on the Section 247 show feed. Nicole's playing with Chevy Chase. That's more of a golf thing with Caddyshack, I guess. And then Lizzie's playing with Chris Pratt, which that's a pretty good one. All right. So returning to sports. To play in an empty arena, stadium, whatever, is not a good idea. The whole point is to drive revenue. I get it. It's to start to bring the world back to normalcy, but you can't enjoy it as a fan. You can't enjoy the experience. I'll watch it. Of course I'm going to watch, but I don't know. I just think, why would you just wait?
I don't know that it's ticket revenue that is going to drive I don't think it's the ticket revenue that's driving this boat here. It is definitely the television revenue. There's tons, billions of dollars wrapped up in television contract with these leagues that if they don't do this, I think they're going to have a major problem.
See, I can speak on, as far as the NBA and the MLB, I'm not really familiar with exactly how it works for them. The NHL, I know for a fact that if they don't get back and finish the season, they lose $100 million in revenue, because they are a ticket revenue league.
Right.
And in turn, what that is, that's 3 years for the players' escrow payments to go up, where more money is taken out of their paychecks. Right now, I believe it's anywhere between 3 and 10%. I don't know. And it will go up to 20 to 25% for 3 years. So I can speak on that. And that's why they are really hell-bent on trying to get the season in. Gary Bettman, the commissioner of the NHL, said that they can play into August. That they have looked into it. They have the technology to keep that ice cold even in the warm summer months. And that's why they're also picking states like, New Hampshire, North Dakota, and then also going into Canada for Saskatchewan, because it is a little cooler all year round, even in the summertime. But all right, baseball attendance has been going down for the past 5 years dramatically. So honestly, if it's played in an empty building, who cares?
It's all tied to television. Baseball is tied to TV.
NBA.
Basketball is tied to TV. Football is tied to TV. There's a couple points here that I want to bring up that we can discuss here. And this is one Dan chimes in. Zero chance any of these pro leagues do it. Not enough testing.
I agree.
That is one of the big elements that is out there. Can they test everyone? One that's interesting enough is Major League Baseball. They have come out with a statement that they are working with the CDC and Dr. Fauci's thing, National Institute of Asthma and Infectious Disease, or whatever it is, to have testing in place. So they are at the forefront of this, which is definitely interesting. And I think if any of them are going to do it, and Zach said it here, I think baseball would be the ones that do it right off the bat.
But also, too, Zach actually made a good comment a couple down. It takes away from the attention of the Red Sox and Astros, which is exactly right. The longer they wait out this, the more this is going to go away, and it's not going to be about them. The Red Sox still haven't been punished. Technically, the Astros haven't been punished either. But, that's one thing. I mean, and what Dan said, it's 120 degrees in the summertime in Arizona. You're not going to be able to play every single game in a dome.
Well, I think your hope.
It's not going to happen.
I think your hope is that you can come back to Philadelphia and play in an empty Citizens Bank Park for the time being, or whatnot. Go wherever. It's
Well, I mean,
interesting.
in Philadelphia, you're okay too, because let's face it, Philadelphia, the stadiums are in South Philly. It's all industrial around there, with the exception of the homes once you get up there. But for the most part, it is empty. It's very, lightly populated in that area where the stadiums are. My biggest thing is player safety and player health. Like, again, I hate to go back to hockey, but it's what I know the most. You're going to just jump right into the playoffs, where it has to be the biggest talent of the season. You have to play at your highest intensity, and you just took almost 2 months off, almost 3.
Well, no, there's going to be some kind of
there's going to be a ramp up time, but right. I mean, they don't know if they're going to just jump into the playoffs, how the standings are now, or finish the regular season, because there were still 10 games left, 12 games left. So they got to settle that first. But I don't think that's healthy from a hockey standpoint. From a baseball standpoint, it's fine. These guys sit on their asses, anyway in spring training. I think they work harder in the offseason than they do in spring training.
I'd agree with you there. I would agree. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Look, WWE is going to continue taping in empty arenas. We'll get to that in depth a little bit later. But UFC is renting. I think they're renting an island.
He bought it.
Bought it. So Dana White bought an island.
He didn't buy it, but UFC bought it.
So that's interesting. You're going to buy an island to play the sport. And that's one. Elizabeth chimes in now. What happens if
that's
the players?
That's a great question.
Wonderful question. There's going to have to be something in agreement with the players associations that guys are going to agree to play. And there's not going to be any of this maybe not.
Yeah. I mean, that's another great point by Dan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dan, you're on fire tonight, my man.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more working pieces, and Dan kind of nails it here. So many people are around. How's it going to work?
And not to mention that they are predicting a resurge in October.
Yeah, I get that. I choose to.
So what do you do? That's the meat and potatoes of your NFL season right there. That's what, week 5, week 6?
There was talk that college football would move to the spring when they think everything is going to kind of be under control. I don't see that happening. I think college football goes to conference only play.
Mm-hmm. I think another thing is where does golf fit in? They've already canceled 3 out of their, they postponed 3 out of their 4 majors. They canceled the Open. They said, screw it in 2020. We're not even going to reschedule it. 2021, we'll just pick up where we left off. And now they're having a hard time to schedule in these major events, because now you're going to run into college football season when they normally, the Masters is going to be in November.
Right.
Well, guess what? You can't really put it on a Sunday because you're going to go up against the NFL. Right. You put it on a Saturday, you're going to be going up against college football. And it's CBS who does both. So it's going to be during the week.
Dave chimes in.
That's a great comment by Dave right there.
Yeah, no CBA covers this. It's a great point. It's uncharted territory here. Almost like this one. I don't even know what this means. Philly Cornhole rankings. Mike L, Mark L Fultz, Peter Forsberg, Freddie Adu. That's a good one. Sean Bradley. Should have thrown in Angelo Cataldi there, Chief.
Oh, that was it. So, all right. There was another one where it's like, what quarantine house you want to live in?
Lions suck.
It was all Philadelphia radio hosts. And I said light a match to both houses. Yeah, Dan, you're right. You're absolutely right, man. I mean, 2020 just might be a lost year completely when it comes to sport. Because I don't even think are we as people going to have a summer? Are we going to be able to go to a beach?
Probably not.
Or go down the shore? Probably not. It's going to be a very, very skeptical, if I can say that right, rest of the year.
Dan brings up Japan, and there's a start, stop. I think the model for baseball is going to be the Korean League, they're playing a little bit. They have a system in place. Again, it's a smaller country, obviously, compared to the United States. Look, I think we get baseball. I think we get football in some fashion. I just don't think it's going to be what people expect.
Yeah. I just want to go just put my truck in the beach and go to Bragantine and drink some beers. That's all I want to do. All right, let me ask you this: sports. How are you feeling? Like, I honestly don't. There's so much other stuff that I'm consumed with right now. I mean, I'm sure if the hockey playoffs were going on right now, I'd be consumed with that. But I have to say that it's almost like, I mean, eventually it'll come back one day. I'm not like at the every day refreshing ESPN to see when stuff's coming back on.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not watching anything taped. I can tell you that much. I did listen to Roy Halladay's Perfect Game, though. That was awesome. That was on tonight. Wilson Valdez scored a run early, and Doc just shut it down. I think when you look at
haircut,
I think when you look at things, they're going to a goddamn haircut.
I would love a haircut too.
Just shave your heads, dudes. What's wrong with you?
Nah, my wife's gonna cut it every time I say I wake up in the morning. I said to my wife, I go, "You want to cut my hair today?" Okay. And next thing you know, it's 8 o'clock, or I'm like, I'm just gonna go to bed. I'm not gonna shave my head, Lizzie. Don't worry about it. I'm not shaving it. I actually think that I'm actually tempted to just grow it and not do anything at all. And I'll look like the guy that's on the cover of the NBA Street video game when it's all said and done.
Phil checks in, college will be online, but who knows about college sports? Again, I think there's just so much money wrapped up in all this. You can't lose it out. You can't lose out on it. You could bankrupt leagues. I just don't think that's going to happen. Dave, he's a big draft guy, and we're going to get into the draft in a second. Great point there. That's a great point. Everything on the NFL side of things is going to proceed as normal. The draft is going to go as normal, but there's going to be no off-season stuff. So,
But you can get away with the off-season stuff because the off-season stuff, you can do Zoom workouts. They can watch people work out.
It's not the same.
Look, it's not the same, but in all honesty, you know what I want to see? And this goes back to the question that we talked about a while ago on this show. That is the off season too much. That is a break. These players need more of a break than what they go through all year round anymore, and the injuries that have piled up. Let's see what happens now, because these guys are on their own.
You said that, not me.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see what happens. I would love in 5 years from now, when hopefully we're back to normal and everything, all the seasons are what they should be and nothing's canceled or put off. Let's see where we are injury situation wise, because I think we're going to be better. Because I think these guys, these athletes needed a break from what they go through every day and what they put their bodies through.
Maybe a little bit, but what's going to happen with the guys? What's going to happen with your first round picks that are going to come in and not be able to do anything until, I don't know, maybe September?
I don't know what's going to happen. The first round pick, my wife wants to flat iron my hair like Justin Bieber.
That's something you guys can talk about, offline here. No, so the NFL universities do have money, but eventually with all that's going on, the money will run out. They don't, though. The money is tied into sports. The Big Ten is paying $50 million to Ohio State, the top tier teams, because of the TV rights. You're not getting $50 million for anything else. Think about that. Can they survive? Sure, but it's not going to be what you think it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a very much of an uphill climb for any professional sports or college university, no matter if you're Alabama or if you're what's the matter you. It's going to be a very big uphill climb once it all gets back. And I don't know if college football starts on time.
I don't think it does. No, I think you're going to get college football.
Do you think the NFL starts on time?
No, I think the NFL gets pushed back a couple weeks. I think you're going to see both of them start in end of September.
Yeah. I mean, and the other thing, we'll go back to the comment earlier by Dan with the collective bargaining agreements. Do they put amendments in there now? Because I know they're usually signed, sealed, and delivered for 10 years, but is there an amendment for if this ever comes up again?
I don't know that you can. I'm not going to get into the politics of it all, and people have to come out and they got to live their life. Forget that. That's for a different time, different place. I don't see a scenario where Dan's right. This whole situation is a clusterfuck. That is fairly accurate. I just don't see a scenario where we're not quote unquote open for business as a country come the fall, for right or wrong. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, just what it is.
With Dan, I was telling my wife last week, because last week I had a little bit of a meltdown because of the news and stuff like that. And I said, I hate getting on planes. I hate flying. I hate getting on a plane because you can't see anything. There's an unknown. You're not flying the plane, obviously. You just don't have any control. This is like that because you don't know. It's just like Dan says, it's a clusterfuck. You don't know what's going on. There's such big unknown. What can you do? What can't you do? You got to have enough tests. 12-week NFL season. Hey, look, that might be it. But
yeah, I think you might get a scenario where the NFL would pull out of conference games down to 12. But again, you're going to start in October. You're not going to start in August. There's no way they're going to start in August. They're going to push it back later.
Do you hold bigger rosters for a bigger part of the season because of that?
I don't know. Sure. I don't know. Can you?
Yeah. Why not? I mean, you can do really and truly, you can make up the rules as you go along right now with what's happening. I mean, you're going to play hockey in Saskatchewan.
That's true. We were talking a little draft. Let's just touch on the Philadelphia Eagles here, Michael. Rumors are coming around left and right about the Birds. Friend of the show, part of the network inside the Eagles, Jeff Mosher on his podcast with our buddy Ryan Rothstein. The rumors are that the Eagles are going to stay at 21 and probably draft a receiver.
Yeah, you just got two defensive backs the past couple weeks. So yeah, I think that's the way to go. I would like to see you go offensive lineman. But with all that being said, if you're going to go receiver and you need some offensive line help, Jason Peters is still out there. Why haven't?
We'll get to that. We're talking draft though. So do you think it's going to be a receiver at 21? I think it's going to be a receiver at 21.
Yeah, it's going to be a receiver at 21. I mean, who else could it be?
Justin Jefferson. Dave chimes in. Justin Jefferson is the hot name out of LSU. I like him, but one of the bigger issues I have is this guy has been compared to a better Nelson Aguilar. I don't know what that means exactly.
What is that Nelson Aguilar 2018?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, that's great. What exactly are we talking about here? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, Phil doesn't want Peters back. I'm looking for him to know his role. He's got to know his role going in there. And if you're wanting to turn over the locker room to new leadership altogether, then that's fine. But I mean, why not? You need offensive line help. You need that help. He's a Hall of Famer. If you just say, look, we need you to back up, Dillard's got this role, or you want to move the guard, have a conversation. Jason, you're still not signing anybody. Want to play guard? Want to give it a go? All right.
Maybe they get to that point once the season starts, once they get closer to training camp, I should say. It's gonna be interesting. Zach chimes in here. Move up for Ruggs. Yeah, I don't see the Eagles being aggressive enough to move up for a wide receiver in the draft. I just don't see it happening.
Better Jordan Matthews. Hey, look, they bring him back once a year.
Hamler was
twice.
Hamler was a hot name about a week and a half ago. It doesn't seem to be the case anymore. All things, now we're 3 weeks out, are pointing to Jefferson. So who knows? I mean, who knows at this point? It could just all be smokescreen.
Or to move up, going back to Zach's, to move up in the draft, is it going to cost more now to move up this year because of everything that's going on? Are draft picks going to be more valuable because you're going to have time to develop them is it going to cost more?
No, I don't think it's going to cost more at all. The NFL is playing by its own rules here. I don't think that anything else that's going on has anything to do with it. It is what it is.
Let me tell you, you're going to know this coronavirus is all rigged if it all goes away right before the NFL season is supposed to start.
That is true. That is true. That would be interesting now, wouldn't it? Why don't you tell people how they can chime in on the show?
So we see a couple new guys tonight. We see Dave chiming in. We see Kenny coming in, Dexter Lee Scott, and Phil, of course, has been in the past couple weeks. How we can see your comments is from the Section 247 show feed. So we can see those in either Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, Periscope now. So we like the fact that you're liking and sharing. Please still do that. But we can't see your comment if you're in that shared room. Jump back into the Section 247 show. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you want to hear. Bust our balls. Make fun of Lipinski's head. And so we can see it.
Dan again. Dan, you're on fire today, man. Why the F won't they give Wentz a stud wide receiver? Exactly. They need to give Wentz some weapons here, or otherwise you're going to have Donovan McNabb on your hand, and everyone likes to crush McNabb for not getting the job done. And we go back to this time and time again. McNabb had to throw to Todd Pinkston. Todd Pinkston.
Yeah, Phil, we do have a schedule. It's every Tuesday night, 9:30 Eastern time. We do Monday night sometimes, but for the most part, it's Tuesday night, 9:30, and then audio is released somewhat throughout the week, Thursday or Friday usually.
Usually a couple days later. So yeah, Thursday. Yeah. Thursday on all your podcast platforms, now including Google Podcast.
And if we're not on the platform that you usually listen to, let us know, and we'll figure out why we're not on there.
Right. We're going to do a whole draft thing as we get closer to the draft, and we might even do, by the way, we might even do a live thing during the draft. So keep that in mind. Let's move on here real quick. Rumors abound that the Eagles are looking at a backup quarterback. Two names that have been out there: Joe Flacco and Cam Newton. Heavy.com reported Cam Newton, which I just kind of laughed at that. I don't see that being an actual real scenario. But hey, what the hell do I know?
Yeah, I mean, Joe Flacco, I'd be open to that. Cam Newton wants to start. I mean, let's face it. Cam Newton has the biggest chip on his shoulder right now, that he has something to prove, especially now because there's been a couple of debates, within the players about both the career of Nick Foles and Cam Newton. And who was it that chimed in and said, well, Nick Foles won a Super Bowl? Who was it? Was that Jalen Mills that said that?
Someone did. Someone on the Twitter.
So I would say a hard pass on Cam Newton, but I kick the tires on Joe Flacco.
I think Joe,
pick one of the two.
If you're going to take a guy and you're going to have him to back up Wentz and have to play if at any point Wentz gets hurt, Dan's right. Flacco would be perfect.
Local guy, can go golfing on his golf courses.
Better baseball player than he was a football player. Great baseball player at Audubon High School.
Yeah, too old.
Zach chimes in here.
No.
Do you see them going?
Stupid ass rumors that you see about them getting rid of Ertz.
No, well, I don't see it happening.
Absolutely not. They're going to resign. He's going to be resigned probably within the next month or two.
Well, you think so? They couldn't come to an agreement during the season.
Nope. I just think after the draft is done, they're gonna sit down with him and he's gonna get taken care of.
That makes no sense, though.
I'm telling you, I think within the next month or two. Yeah, Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. I mean, Cam Newton went to a Super Bowl.
Kenny chimes in, yeah.
I mean, Cam Newton has a lot to prove. And he's going to want to go to a place where he can start. That's why I'm really surprised that the Patriots haven't really looked at him and signed him yet.
It is odd that he has not found a home yet, but maybe it's an after the draft kind of thing. You see what you have and you see where he's going to end up.
I mean, normally you would say, hey, look, let's see how OTAs,
I agree. Kenny means Flacco backing up Wentz. I agree. I love it. I think it's a great idea.
That's not a bad one. I mean, you normally would see, let's see where the cards fall after OTA, see if there's any injuries, see anybody's just really out of shape or needs surgeries, but that's not going to happen this year.
Listen, Dan, we were having a good night here. We appreciated all your feedback. As a Rutgers guy, Flacco's younger brother was on the Rutgers quarterback room, and he left and went down to Townsend and was tearing it up. I don't want to see him. I think it's Tommy Flacco. Don't need to see him. Don't want to see him.
And Dan, he's just butthurt. So don't listen to him. I like your comments tonight.
No, I agree with Kenny.
Been good.
Yeah, I agree with Kenny. Flacco has that Super Bowl experience. It's definitely something that can be used. It can't hurt at this point. Phil says he would need to know his role and shut his mouth. So let's perfect segue there. Perfect segue, Phil. And Phil, I think you're going to back out here. This is the point of the show where Phil says, "All right, I'll see you guys later." But Michael Lath this past weekend was a historic weekend for professional wrestling. It was a historic WrestleMania. Did you watch it?
I did. I watched all of it. I think I might have missed the Becky Lynch match, and then because my son was getting his bath, but then I went back and I watched it the next day. I enjoyed it, man. I know
because there was nothing else on.
Yeah, well, that too. But I texted you after about 15 minutes in, and I was like, I don't think I can do it 2 nights of this. And sure enough, I settled in. And I think what won me over was that Boneyard match between The Undertaker and AJ Styles. I thought that was just cinematic genius. That was probably the best short movie that WWE has ever put out, other than the Marine 12.
So you didn't see... Oh, Phil's hanging. You didn't see Matt Hardy's Phil. Broken Universe, I take it.
Yes, I did. I saw that. I did see that. Yeah, because everybody was comparing it to Matt Hardy. So what I did was I went back and I watched that after all that, because I was up, man. Dude, that Boneyard match woke me the frig up on Saturday night. And I went back and I went in that Twitter, or not Twitter, but YouTube foxhole, and just got lost.
So I started watching it on Saturday night, and I texted you and I said, I can't watch this. I can't even get through the beginning. I can't even get through the intro. It was awful.
The intro was awful, man.
And then, so I went back and I watched it on Monday after the hours of 9 to 5, and I checked into it, and I can't. Rob Gronkowski wasn't doing it for me, but I did look in. I checked into a couple things. So I watched the Boneyard match. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. It was entertainment.
It didn't have its place at WrestleMania. Here's the thing. I go back to it and I go back to it over and over again. WrestleMania is about the pomp, the circumstances. This was in an empty building. They should have just postponed the goddamn thing.
So that Boneyard match does not take place if it's in a stadium.
No, they have a regular match.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, that's better than any match that The Undertaker is going to be able to perform.
No, wrong. You're wrong there. AJ Styles would have brought out the best.
You would have carried him for it? Yeah. I mean, that's fine, because I like both of them.
I loved certain things about that. Let's talk about the Boneyard match. The Boneyard match, I liked the return of the American Badass.
What sucks is Nicole said that was dreadful to watch. She fell asleep right before the Boneyard match. And the next morning, I go, you fell asleep. I go, that match was awesome.
And it was cool to see the Undertaker come back as the American Badass. I had some issues with it. They didn't play the right music. That wasn't the music he used. The Metallica thing, I get it and all that, but it wasn't.
Sell records.
I got it. But where was Kane?
He's what, governor of?
I know he's a mayor,
Arkansas, or whatever.
But
Ohio, Kentucky, somewhere.
But you had the Bullet Club guys. You had Anderson and Gallows there. I was waiting for Kane to show up. Everyone else was showing up in this goddamn thing. I needed Kane.
I mean, the monks showed up and were fighting Undertaker.
Right.
You know,
so I figured Kane was coming at some point. I was a little disappointed there.
The only thing is I saw a lot of comparison online to the Sting Vampiro match WCW did, the original Boneyard match. So I saw a lot of comparison text. The finish was the same. Did you know that?
Well, it was
Wrestling Encyclopedia.
It was also a throwback to Undertaker Mankind Buried Alive.
Oh, the handout.
Which was in your house, maybe Mind Game. I forget.
In your house. It was in your house.
Yeah,
1996.
Back in the 90s. I like that. The only thing I remember about Sting and Vampiro was Vampiro getting chucked off of the flaming Vampiro thrown off the Tron. The Braun Strowman Goldberg match was brutal. It was weird hearing people call out stuff. The Gronkowski thing. Yeah,
but that's what happens to a part-timer.
No, you're right. And it should have happened in front of 65,000 people.
Right. Yeah, well, that's why Roman Reigns backed out. Roman Reigns knew that it was going to be very hard to call a match when everybody can hear you.
Right. The second. All right, let's move on to the second night here real quick. And what was your takeaways on the second night?
My girl, Charlotte Flair, of course.
Yeah. Well, it's because Rhea Ripley has to go back to Australia. She lost her visa.
Is that the real reason why? I read that.
Yeah.
I read that and I was like, oh, it can't be right. Heavy breathing sound. That's what she's like. You can hear them breathing constantly. It's very annoying.
Yeah, because it sounds weird.
Yeah. The second night, Charlotte Flair won. I don't know why she needs the NXT title. I mean, whatever. They couldn't have done the next day. Rhea Ripley decides to vacate the title. She just doesn't want to do this anymore and sort of like make it like a retirement story, but whatever. Yeah. Again, you go back to the Firefly Funhouse, another entertainment piece.
Awful.
How was that awful?
Awful garbage.
How?
That should have been the build up to this match. I had completely forgotten that John Cena and Bray Wyatt wrestled at WrestleMania 30 until I watched the match. That's where the whole build should have been, this whole thing. And they should have actually had a wrestling match. It was awful. They couldn't even use the right Nitro music, for God's sake. They own the damn library.
I thought it was good because it was almost like it was John Cena, because everybody wants him to turn heel. So he's facing his demons on always being a good guy and trying to save the day. And it's Bray Wyatt trying to bring him into the dark side.
I got the story.
Not to mention that he was singing Nikki Bella's.
That was fantastic.
That was great.
That was good. There was a couple moments that made me pop. That one was one of them. That was good. It needed to be somewhere else. It needed to not be WrestleMania.
No, it's a Monday Night Raw match. I mean, that's without a doubt. That's you know what that is too.
WWE Armageddon on like a random.
That is
March.
That's 3 weeks worth of promos. That match.
I know it is, but why couldn't they do that?
I mean, it's different times, man. I mean, when did they tape that?
Chrome times. Yeah,
that's why I liked it, Michael. Thank you.
I like the premise of it.
Yeah, it was.
But I just there could have been so much more to it, and I get the circumstances changed that, but it could have been so much more.
I think a lot has to do with Cena's probably not in wrestling shape, obviously. I mean, he's in shape.
If that's not in wrestling shape, sign me up, man.
Look, he's in shape, but he's not the same. He's not the same body structure that he was when he was wrestling, putting guys over his, doing a friggin' 5-knuckle shuffle. He's not the same guy there. He's not the same build. He's a leaner John Cena, and Bray Wyatt's a big boy. Sure. So I think that there had to be a lot of plan Bs in this one. And I think this Firefly Funhouse was a plan D.
It wasn't doing it for me. I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time buying into the whole thing without the crowd. And I saw that CM Punk chimed in with the same thing, that professional wrestlers feed off the crowd and they need the crowd. And it's weird watching it without the crowd. And it's clear as day.
Extremely weird. And that's why those matches worked on those 2 nights. What did you think about the Edge Randy Orton match?
I thought it was okay. I don't think Randy Orton has very good matches.
Well, also too, is it because you don't want to do too much because of Edge?
That could be part of it. You're also not selling for anybody. There's no one there. Again, I'm coming back to it. You're not performing for anybody. What's it matter?
Yeah, but that's when those street yard fights and those backyard, whatever they want to call them, matches work, because there is no crowd. Then there's no reaction because they can't hear the crowd, depending on where they are.
Right.
So, it worked. Can they do it next year? No. Can they do this really ever again? No.
You know what they can do? There was one thing that came out of this weekend that I think worked really, really well.
With 2 nights from here on out.
Absolutely.
That was great.
This is a no-brainer for the WWE. It is a moneymaker. You got to do 2 nights. You do 2 stadium shows, similar to New Japan. And 3 might be too much because you're going to have. Well, you're going to have your Hall of Fame, your NXT. Then you do 2 nights of WrestleMania, followed by your Raw and all that stuff. Look, it is a no-brainer. You put 65,000 people into a stadium 2 nights in a row. You got to buy 2 tickets. It's a moneymaker. It's perfect.
Look, they do it for All-Star games. All-Star games, you always have the skills challenge the night before and then the game the next day. I mean, it works.
That's the one thing to come out of this that I think is going to work really, really well for them is that they can do this 2 nights in a row moving forward.
Yeah. I kind of enjoyed the 2 nights. It was nice because 10 o'clock on Saturday, 11 o'clock on Sunday. I actually wish they would reverse that, do 11 on Saturday, 10 on Sunday.
Yep.
And that's just because I'm an old man and I'm usually in bed by 8:30. But I enjoyed it. It was something different. I had a hard time in the beginning. The first match, the Alexa Bliss Asuka match, did not do it for me at all. But after that, I settled and I got used to it. But again, I like the entertainment part of it.
I miss the wrestling part of it. I miss the fans. And Rob Gronkowski, he's a cheater. He could kiss my ass.
Oh, that's awful. It's just the fact that I don't even want to talk about him. He's not even worth the time. You know what is worth the time? Sandlot, 30 years ago today, came out.
So it's funny you should say that. Is it still the same? Phil Hamilton is still the same pay-per-view. You would have to buy both nights, I guess. That's the other thing. If you're the WWE, you're going to buy both nights of the show.
And we'll package that.
Well, you can do a package or you can buy them individually. It's all about the dollars, man. It's all about the dollars. Yeah. Sandlot was 30 years ago. I got this here. You know, it was 27 years ago today, Michael.
What?
Reggie White signed with the Green Bay Packers and broke my heart.
Sandlot wins.
Did
you see that movie in the theater?
I'm sure I did. 93.
My aunt took me to see that.
I had to have seen it in the theater.
My aunt took me to see that, the ACO Multiplex.
That's where everybody used to go. That's where all the fancy kids went. Yeah, that's about right. On that note.
Kenny the Jet, Kenny.
On that note, I think I'm going to go watch The Sandlot. I'm going to wrap this up. You can check us out every Tuesday night here, 9:30, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, not Twitch for right now. We're working on that. Anywhere you can find podcasts a few days later. Where are we on social?
Social media on Instagram, we are at Section 247 Show. On Twitter, we are at Section 247 Show. Tell a friend, share it, like it. Look, there's nothing better going on. Why not listen to us on audio or watch us right here on a replay? I mean, look, he's got no hair. I got my hair. Why not watch us on video? But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sharing. Again, tell a friend. Michael Watkins 7 on Twitter.
Check us out, sportstalkphilly.com. Follow those guys at SportsTalkPHL. And we'll catch you next week. See you later. Go
somebody. Go you.
All right.